Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego with Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela. Karina has her green card in her hand. She got it in the mail. She had her K1 visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia on November 16th, 2023. We flew to the United States from Colombia to Miami, then drove here to the northern panhandle of Florida and got married on January 14th, 2024. And then we applied for Karina's green card on February 29th, 2024, and she got it in her hand on June 25th. So how many days is that, right? You want to know that, right? So we got March, April, May, June. It took 87 days from the day we mailed Karina's green card application to Chicago to getting her green card in her hand. It took 87 days, which is 2.9 months. 3 months. There you go. Pretty quick, right? Why was it quick? Well, we put together a fantastic green card application. It wasn't some cheesy, thrown together, easy, quick. This process isn't fast, guys. You got to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't make mistakes. You cannot make mistakes with the price of the green card or the biometrics. If you want to get advance parole and or the work permit, you got to pay for that too. Lee Kirkula, good evening, Diego. Lee, what's going on, Lee? How's everything? How's your family? Miguel, hey, Diego, did Karina change her last name to yours? Miguel, yes. Karina changed her last name to my last name. So Karina is now Karina Ross. So you have a question for me, right? How did she do that? How did Karina, this is the question you're going to give me, right? I'm like Nostradamus today. How did Karina change her last name to Diego Ross? Well, she did it on page 1 of the Form I-485 application to register permanent residence or adjust status. On page 1 of 20 pages, right? On page 1, she filled out her current legal name, which was Karina Ross. Then, and underneath that, it says, what other names have you used, Karina? And Karina used her first name, middle name, and her maiden name. That goes underneath, right here, right? I don't know if you can see that. Right here is where Karina changed her name to my name. Right here is where she put her old name with her maiden name. It's easy, guys. It's so easy a caveman can do this. Annie Prasad, hi Diego and beautiful Karina. Good night. What's going on, Annie? How is Annie? How is your family? Edward Tubman Jr. from Liberia. Hi Diego from Liberia. Well, I'm going to give you a Mountain Dew salute. Okay, it's a diet Mountain Dew salute. Okay, for Edward Tubman Jr. in Liberia and all his friends and family in Liberia. And Miguel, yes, sir. You know what I was going to ask? I've been doing this 9 years. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give any legal advice. I'm not a CPA. I don't work for USCIS, and I definitely don't work for the State Department. And I am not an immigration attorney. Okay? How many immigration attorneys have brought a beneficiary to the United States to get married? How many? I don't know. But people are paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 for an immigration attorney to fill out simple paperwork on a K1 visa application. My first question is, why are you doing that? My second question is, have you asked your immigration attorney if he's ever brought anybody to the United States on a K1 visa? Or did he just go to law school, which is good, and take a bar exam and then decided to be an immigration attorney? Who knows? Juanita, hi Diego and Karina. Juanita, what's going on? And Edward Tubb Jr. looking good together. Siempre, juntos, siempre, muy bien. Francois Livingston in upstate New York. Francois, good evening, Diego and Karina. Francois, you know, Francois, that the Moroccan embassy, Francois, in the United Arab Emirates is Moroccan soil. It's Moroccan territory. So when your husband-to-be, who's going to be in America soon, when he got his Moroccan passport issued to him, it was issued on Moroccan soil in the United Arab Emirates. So what does that mean when you apply, when you fill out the passport part in the DS-160? That means that even though he's in the United Arab Emirates, a beautiful country, you put the country of issuance was Morocco, even though it was in the United Arab Emirates, and you put the nationality as Morocco. Francois, tell me you understand that. When Karina, you had a fun day with the DS-160. Well, we're glad to hear it. When Karina had her scary visa interview at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, when Karina entered the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia, she left Colombian territory and entered American territory. She was in the United States territory, okay? And then we had to go to the Venezuelan consulate in Bogota, and Karina put her first left foot into the Venezuelan consulate in Bogota, Colombia. Karina was in Venezuela. I was almost in Venezuela, but I didn't want to put my little toes in there because I don't like, the Venezuelan government. But on July 28th, they have an election, and that dictator Maduro is out of here. You got to pray for the Venezuelan people, ladies and gentlemen. And also, Iran had an election for a new president, and the Iranians got a new president who has a semblance of common sense about him. He seems like a good guy, and I think there's going to be some good changes in Iran too. Just my opinion. Juanita, a question. ¿Cuánto demora la embajada en entrega el pasaporte con la visa?
¿Cuántos días?
How many days?
Sí.
Okay.
Primero.
Juanita. On November 16th, 2023, Karina had her K1 visa interview, the scary interview. She passed, but she had to get an Interpol police certificate. Okay? So they gave her a 221G administrative hold while she went and got this freaking police certificate. She got the police certificate in 4 weeks. When she got the police certificate from Interpol emailed it to Karina's phone emailed it to my phone, and then I sent it to the embassy. And then 2 days after they got it, they issued Karina's K1 visa. So that was back in December, November, December. So now it's the middle of summer. I don't know if it's the middle of summer, somewhere it is. The embassies are a little busy. June, July, and August, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota is very busy, so it may take a bit longer to get your visa. It may take a week. Once you get issued status, it may take a week. Miguel, what's Karina's last name, your last name on the marriage certificate? No. On the marriage certificate, okay, it says Karina's maiden name and my last name. But under law in the United States, a lady can take her husband's last name if she wants to, so it's no problem, okay? Karina's maiden name was on the marriage certificate. It wasn't Karina Ross. It was Karina, her maiden name. But that's no big deal. It's no big deal because on page one of Form 485, Karina changed her name to my last name. And when her work permit and when her green card showed up in the mailbox, it said Karina Ross, right? There you go. The marriage certificate just shows that you got married. When you get married, the marriage certificate is going to show the maiden name. Okay? You change the last name when you go into the driver's license office and they say, what's your name? Well, my name's Karina Ross. Okay. Very good. When she got her military ID, it says Karina Ross. When she got her green card and her work permit, it says Karina Ross. It's easy to change the last name, guys. Scott Boyne. Hi, Diego and Karina. My Thai fiance is sitting next to me here in Michigan. Well, that's a Mountain Dew salute right there. In Michigan, we have the marriage license in hand, and we will be official in 2 weeks. Good job. How does she like Michigan? How does she like living in Michigan? And congratulations, by the way. And I'm trying to remember. My dad can speak fluent Thai. My dad lives in Chiang Mai in Thailand, married to a beautiful lady from Thailand. Been married for 5 years plus, and he can speak fluent Thai. But I used to know a few words, but I'd be darned if I can remember any Thai right now. Jeff Mantalk, hello Diego. What's going on, Jeff? Going on? What's going on? Annie, what is the first step when you arrive to the United States? The first step. Well, your plane lands in America. You go through the immigration line, U.S. citizenship line. Annie, you go through the U.S. citizenship line. You check in with the Border Patrol. They will issue you an I-94, right, which is a face-to-face, basically saying that you arrived in the United States legally and you had a chat with a Border Patrol officer. He issues you an I-94. You don't get it right away. Some do, some don't. Depends. You wait a couple of days, you print your I-94, you go to the Border Patrol website and print your I-94 from their official Border Patrol website. You take the I-94 and your passport. If you want, you can zip down to the Social Security office and get your Social Security number. And then you got to get married. There are 12 states where you have to have a Social Security number before you can get married. So if you live in one of those states, okay, and I'll tell you what they are. I don't know if you live in any of these states, but I mean, if you do, you're going to have to get your Social Security number before you can get married. That's Connecticut, Kansas, Kentucky, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Utah, and West Virginia. And if you live in West Virginia, you gotta prove your parents' name besides. You gotta show you who your mom and dad is, not the beneficiary, the American citizen. Let me see. So the first step, Annie, is to check in with the Border Patrol. Then you get your I-94. Then you get your Social Security number. Depends where you live. Then you get married. And then you start putting your green card package together. Okay? You're going to put your green card application together. Okay? That's what you're going to do. Don't rush. Don't rush. As long as you get married within 90 days, 90 en español, 90. Get married within 90 days, you're in status. If it takes you a little bit longer, past 90 days, to file for your green card, it's okay. You're not going to get in trouble with immigration. The only way you'll get in trouble with immigration is if you do not get married within the time frame on the I-94, which is issued by the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol says, okay, you got 90 days to get married between this day and this day. If you get married within this day and this day, you're good. You're in status. And then you file for the green card about, I don't know, 5 or 6 weeks later. You put together a great green card package application, just like your spousal visa, just like your K-1 visa package was fantastic. Just like, you do that. That's how you do it. If you need help putting together the green card application, I'll help you right here on this live stream, or if you watch one of the videos I made. And Francois said she had a fun day with the DS-160. I can imagine. Christy Garcia, hi Diego. Did Karina have an interview for her adjustment of status? No, they mailed the green card to the house. We just submitted our employment authorization document and adjustment of status and USCIS scheduled biometrics yesterday. Congratulations. Good job, Christy. Very good. Very good. Mountain Dew salute. Now, when you go for your biometrics, right after you get done with the biometrics, then your green card application is going to kick in and they're going to start looking at it and they're going to start adjudicating it. Okay? Good job, Christy Garcia. Saludos. Saludos para Karina también. Jeff, Francois, the site quit on me 4 times. No, it times out. The site doesn't quit. When you fill out the DS-160, Francois, it doesn't quit. It times out. Okay, that's for your protection. That's to protect your information. You gotta save each page as you go. There you go, Francois. Good. Save each page as you go. And then when it times out, you can go back to where you left off and keep going up with your DS-160. But remember, Francois, on the passport part, you got to put Morocco as the issuing country. The country that issued your future husband his passport was the Morocco. The Moroccan embassy in the United Arab Emirates. The Moroccan embassy is Moroccan territory. So Morocco issued it, and his nationality is Moroccan. So Morocco goes on the second line. You got it? Jeff Mantalk, Diego, we got an email from USCIS that they have received hers and my stepson's green card application. Well, Jeff, that's the Mountain Dew salute. Congratulations. Miguel, so Mountain Dew salute to Jeff Mantalk. Miguel, so why would my wife have to get her name changed for everything after getting her green card? It's up to her. Miguel, it's up to her. If your wife doesn't want to change her last name to your last name, she doesn't have to. She can keep her maiden name. It just creates a bit of an issue when she applies for U.S. naturalization to become a U.S. citizen. They're going to ask her, why didn't you take your husband's last name? That's when they start questioning it. Okay? So the question is, why would my wife have to get her name changed for everything after getting her green card? Because she's changed her name legally to your last name. So Karina's last name legally now is Karina Ross. Okay? The next passport she gets is going to be a U.S. passport in 3 years from now when she becomes an American citizen. Her driver's license will say Karina Ross. She's going to take her driver's sign test on August 1st. She knows how to do it. She's ready. And then when she passes her driver's test, she'll get a driver's license from Florida. And it's going to have her married name. Her military ID has her married name. Her green card has her married name. Scott Boyne, she's adapting very well. I was afraid she would have a problem with our food. Yeah. Layla comes from Isan and proud of their food. Yeah, I understand that. But she has liked everything. That's good. Excellent, Scott Boyne. That's great. I love Thai food, okay? My dad and his wife in Thailand, they run a restaurant in Thailand for expats in Chiang Mai, up in the mountains. I love Thai food. I can make Thai curry, I can make a hot red chicken curry like it was made in Thailand. My dad taught me how to do that years ago. I can't remember how long ago. Let me see. Jeff, Diego, we got an email from USCIS. Very good. Miguel, so would my wife have to get her name changed on everything? Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. Except the birth certificate. That doesn't change. Let me see. Annie Pursuit, I'm going to be in Florida. That's great news. You know what the benefits are of living in Florida? You don't pay a state tax to the government. The Florida legislator doesn't take a state tax. The only time you pay tax will be in April to the freaking federal government in Washington. You don't pay a state tax. You don't pay a corporate tax here. The property tax rates are low depending on where you live. It's a very tax-friendly place to live in Florida. So you're going to keep more of the money you make. When you get to Florida and you become a capitalist entrepreneur and you start your own business or whatever it is you're going to do, you're going to keep more of your money in your bank, not in the government's bank. Let me see here. Francois, only 2 things left to do on the GS160. Okay. Education, work, and security. Okay. And we are done. And then you submit it. Make sure you put your name on the DS160. Okay. Put your name on the DS160 as the helper bee. I was gone from the library to library today because the hours are different. My head is spinning. LOL. I did put Morocco. Francois, yeah. Remember, it was confusing to you because you it's totally normal. Karina, it's totally normal. You were confused because you were thinking he got issued the passport in the United Arab Emirates, but he got issued his passport from the Moroccan embassy in United Arab Emirates, and the Moroccan embassy is Moroccan territory. Okay, that's what it is. You got it. Good job, Francois. Mountain Dew salute, Francois. She got it. She understands. Antonio, hey Diego. We checked our status today and it said biometrics appointment was scheduled. So what's next for us? Now, Antonio, you're going to wait for the letter for the biometrics. And on the letter, it's going to say, your biometrics is going to be at this location, on this day, at this time. Okay? Karina got a letter in the mail for her biometrics. We live in the Panhandle of Florida. Karina's biometrics were in New Orleans, Louisiana on Poydras Street. So we had to drive from Florida to Alabama to Mississippi to Louisiana. 4 states. Karina got to see 4 states. And we spent the weekend in New Orleans. And then we did her biometrics, Karina's biometrics. And then boom, when her biometrics were done, that's when the immigration kicked in and started adjudicating her green card application. Let me see. So what's next for you, Antonio? You got to wait for the letter so you know where to go for the biometrics and what time and what day. And don't be late. If you're late, they won't let you in. Any pursuit, do the Border Patrol ask you the same questions than they did during your visa interview? No. The Border Patrol basically are just doing paperwork. They're going to look at the embassy's consideration of the K-1 visa. So the Border Patrol, they take your packet and they open it. Don't open your packet. When you get your packet from the embassy, bring it as carry-on. Don't check it in your suitcase. It could get lost. Put it as carry-on. You land in America, you go to the immigration checkpoint, they open up the packet, and they look at the recommendations from the embassy, from their interview, the K-1 visa interview. The immigration officer, the consular officer will make recommendations. No further questions required, further questions possible, just process the darn thing, okay? When Karina arrived in Miami, they saw the recommendations from the K-1 visa consular officer, and all they did was process her. They didn't ask her any questions. They asked me more freaking questions. Karina didn't get any questions. And then Tokyo, our cat, they questioned him. I'm like, I said, Tokyo's Colombian, lady. He speaks Spanish. If you want to ask our cat some immigration questions, ask him in Spanish. I'm serious. I shut her up. Ooh. Let me see. So the Border Patrol depends. It depends. It depends. Okay, on the Border Patrol officer and whatever the consular officer wrote as recommendations in that sealed packet that you're not allowed to see. Scott Booming. Layla says, Sawadee, ka hello. Yeah, Sawadee, that's right. That's Thailand. It's Thailand. Sawadee. I remember that. I remember. Francois Livingston, sorry if I ask questions. Why are you here? So, Francois, you are here to ask freaking questions, right? Karina, it was Karina's idea for this YouTube channel. She said, we were in Colombia, in Villa de Leyva, in looking at historic places. And Karina said, I had a 1-year visa to live in Colombia. Thank you, Colombian government. President Duque passed. And so Karina said, instead of being bored, put a YouTube channel together. So here it is. So you need to thank Karina for this. But Francois, ask me all the questions you can. I don't know why I am on edge. It was easier and less stressful waiting for the NOA1 and NOA2 letter. We know how you're feeling, okay, Francois. We know how you're feeling. Karina we went through the same thing, okay. We've been there and done that. We know exactly how you feel. And there's a commercial running. YouTube pays for the channel with these commercials, so I don't know if you heard what I said. Jeff Mantalk, any pursuit. The Border Patrol asks us very few questions. Yes, the Border Patrol depends on who's the checkpoint guy or lady. Antonio, we live in North Louisiana. Okay, great. I think ours will be in Jackson, Mississippi. Okay, Antonio. So it depends. Whatever the closest. Man, this chair squeaks. This chair, I got this chair. It's 10 years old and it squeaks. It's driving Karina crazy. Okay. Let me see here. Antonio, our biometric appointment is what I'm referring to. Right, Antonio, your biometric appointment will be wherever they tell you it's going to be. You're going to get a letter. If you live in northern Louisiana, I don't know where you're going to go for your biometrics. You may go to New Orleans if you live in northern Louisiana, but it may be closer to go to Jackson, Mississippi. I don't know. But whatever the letter says is where you're going to go for the biometrics. And the biometrics takes 5 minutes. You know what biometrics is, right? You know what it is, biometrics? You know what it is, guys, ladies and gentlemen? You do your biometrics for the embassy interview. They take your picture, they take your fingerprints, and they want your signature. When you get to the United States of America, you have to repeat the biometrics, and it's included in the green card application fee. Okay, so when you pay for the green card, and you pay for the biometrics fee, it's all, you write one check to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. It's one check for $1,440. Okay, that covers the green card and it covers the biometrics. Okay, and what did Karina do? We drove from the Panhandle of Florida through Alabama, Mississippi, and Louisiana. What did we do? I sat down in the waiting room, and when Karina was called in, she went back there. They took a picture, they took her fingerprints, and then they took a sample of her signature, a picture. That's it. It took 5 minutes. It was quick. It was easy. And then Karina came out of her biometrics in New Orleans, Louisiana, and said, "Okay, I'm done." I'm like, "Dang, you just went in there." I said, "Okay, let's go check out Bourbon Street." So we went down Bourbon Street and checked it out. And Karina's like, "Wow, let's check this place out." She liked it. She likes New Orleans. Antonio, what do they do there? They just take your photo, take your fingerprints, and they take your signature. Vanessa Robles. Hi, Diego and Karina. Vanessa, how are you? What's going on? What questions do you have? Come on, guys. This is your YouTube channel for K1 visa, green card applications, for spousal visas, tourist visas, and if you want to bring mom to America, I just made a video on how to bring mom to America. It's a petition for family members to form I-130. It's like 12 pages long. It's easy, but people are spending thousands of dollars to immigration attorneys having them fill paperwork out. That's easy to do. Don't do it. Save your money, guys. And Vanessa, what's going on? And Jeff, it said the Border Patrol, they asked a few questions. They didn't ask Karina. They asked us 0 questions, not one. They asked me more questions. They said, "Hey, Diego, what the heck is this in this K1 visa package?" I said, "I don't know." They said, "Well, it's like another person." I said, "Well, that was from 9 years ago." They said, "Oh, they messed up at the embassy." I said, "Okay, you're good." And they shredded it. So what did Karina do when she got home to Florida, here in Florida? Well, we had to relax, first of all. And then Karina was checking out. We drove from Miami here. So she got to see Palm Beach, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. She got to drive through about 40 different counties. And then she rested up a little bit. We got her unpacked. Okay. Boom. It was easy. Karina's just chilling now. She's not used to being in Florida, except for the heat. It's killing her. Antonio, is it okay for my wife to start filling out applications once her work permit gets approved? You can fill out applications now if you want, but you cannot start work in the United States of America without a green card, a work permit, and a social security number. So listen, you're going to pay $60 for the work permit, and then about 4 weeks later you're going to get your green card. So why are you going to spend $260 on a work permit only to get your green card about 4 weeks later? And then the green card overrides the work permit, right? My recommendation is apply for the green card and do the biometrics. Don't waste your money on a work permit. But you cannot work in the United States. If you do apply for the work permit, okay, knock yourself out. Spend the money. But you cannot work in America without a work permit and a social security number or a green card and a social security number. If you go to work, listen, you got your social security number in your hand, right? And you go and you start work somewhere. And that company sends your social security number to Homeland Security and says, "Is this person able to work in America?" Immigration is going to come back and say no. This person has a social security number, but they're not authorized to work in America, not yet. And you're going to get a mismatch on your immigration status, and it's going to give you a massive immigration headache. When you get the work permit in your hand, you got your social security number in your hand, you got your green card in your hand, then you can start work. Priyanka, what's going on? Hello, Diego and Karina. Priyanka lives in Alabama, but you're moving to Michigan, right? You got a job with pharmaceuticals, and then your husband, and both of you are going to move to Michigan. Jose Custodio, hello, Diego and Karina. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful weekend. It's a weekend, Saturday. Today's Saturday. I don't even know what day it is half the time. Yesterday, July 5th, we received our son's green card and approval letter at the same time. All is good. José Custodio, muy bien. Me alegra. Karina también. Salutas para ti. Binay Mohammed. Hello, Diego and Karina. How long does administrative processing take for Iraq? I had my interview in Qatar on the 19th of March, and it's been 3 months and 2 weeks. The waiting is very stressful. Binay Mohammed, you're going to get your K1 visa, but it could take another maybe 4 or 5 months. It could take between 1 month and 6 months. But listen, you're from Iraq, okay? You're from Iraq. The Iraqi people are wonderful. Back in the day in the 70s in Iraq and the United States, we got along perfectly fine. But then the government started sticking their noses into our government stuck its nose into Iraqis' business and all kinds of stuff, right? So now Iraq requires extra security screening. So, Binay Mohammed, you're going to get your K1 visa. It's just going to take a while. It could take another 3 months. But don't stress it. You're going to get it, all right? But you got to maintain communication with the U.S. Embassy in Qatar. Check in with them every 2 weeks and say, hey, I'm just checking in on the status of my K1 visa application. You never worked for the Iraqi government, right? You never served in the Iraqi military, right? You never made any Facebook posts or anything public negative about the United States, right? Because the American people got no problem with the Iraqi people. Okay, it's the governments that have problems with each other, and it creates problems for people like you. So you get stuck in this administrative hole, but you're going to get your K1 visa. Scuba, hi Diego, I received an RFE for a past arrest. Okay, no problem. Are you familiar with specifically what I need to obtain and where to get those documents? You need to go to the courthouse where you adjudicated that action. Okay, whatever courthouse that was, you got to go get the certified copies of whatever the disposition was of the past arrest. As long as it's not, like a felony child abuse or felony domestic violence or anything like that. If it's just a stupid thing you did and it got disposed of, you just got to get a certified copy of the paperwork from the courthouse. That's what they want. It has to be a certified copy. You got to go to the courthouse. They got to print all the papers. They got to stamp it and sign it. That's what they're looking for at immigration. So, Scuba, do you understand what I just said? Scuba, I just told you exactly what you got to do. Now, Scuba, now you're a diver. Are you a scuba diver? Are you a scuba diver? Vanessa Robles, we applied for the work permit with our green card. When we check the status, it says 1 week. What says 1 week? Does that mean that in 1 week the status may change to approve? How long do you think it may take to get it? I was referring to the time to get the work permit. It took Karina, 88 days from the beginning of the process to get a work permit. And then 3.5 weeks later, she got her green card. So she got a work permit, and then she started work. So she was bored at the house. And then three weeks later, she got her green card. So it all depends on how busy immigration is and where they're all the work permits and the green cards, they get mailed from Corbin, Kentucky. Corbin, Kentucky processes the green cards and the work permits for permanent residency in the United States under the General Dynamics Company, which is contracted out by USCIS. So it all depends on how busy they are, okay? I would say 3 to 4 months for both cards in your hand, max. Scott Boyne, if we plan to retire back to Thailand in 10 years, would you recommend just getting a work permit instead of applying for the green card? If you don't apply for the green card, immigration is going to be looking for you in about a year. If you don't apply for the green card, immigration is going to say, why didn't you adjust status to green card, permanent residence? Why didn't you do that? You got to adjust status to permanent residence. Even if you get married within 90 days, you still have to adjust status with the green card. And then in 10 years from now, okay, your wife can abandon her green card status. It's easy to fill out. It's one-page form. You fill out the one-page form, say I'm moving back to Thailand with. I just made a video about it. I just made a video on how to abandon your green card. It's easy. Harold A. Hey, Harold, what's going on? Did you find a hotel close to the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia? Let me see. Scott Boyne. My dad lives in Thailand, okay? He lives in Chiang Mai with his Thai wife. He can't stand going through immigration stuff like you guys are going through, like we went through, like everybody's going through. So he has to go through the immigration nightmare in Thailand once a month. My dad lives in Thailand for 25 years. But once a month, he has to check in with Thai immigration. Hello, I'm here. I'm still alive. January 1st, February 1st, or depends on, I'm just as an example. Once a month, my dad has to check in with Thai immigration because he's not a Thai citizen. He's not. So he can't even buy property in Thailand. He buys property through his wife. If you decide to relocate to Thailand, Scott Boyne, that's all good. That's no problem. But you're going to be going through an immigration nightmare once a month. You're going to be checking in with the Thai immigration. I'm here, it's Scott. Hey, I'm still here. Let me see here. Harold A. Did you find a hotel close to the embassy? Did you watch the video I made? Priyanka, one question, Diego. I don't think it is ideal to move to Michigan alone because I'm on a conditional green card. USCIS can check out anytime. Is that true? Priyanka, if you leave Alabama and move to Michigan by yourself, immigration is going to find out. And then you're going to be under an immigration investigation why you're not with your husband. They're going to ask, why are you living in Michigan? And he's close to, and he's in Alabama. You're going to have massive immigration problems if you do that. And you're probably going to lose your green card. My husband is transferring his work 100% remote to move together to Michigan. If you live together in Michigan, Priyanka, you buy a house in Michigan with your husband, and you live in Michigan, you can do that. It's perfectly okay. But you got to prove that you live together. So when you guys move from Alabama to Michigan, you must notify immigration right away once you get a new place. You got to notify immigration. If you don't, you're going to get problems with immigration. You got to tell immigration where you live. Okay? Until you become a citizen of the United States, and then don't worry about it. Yeah, it's true, Priyanka. If you move alone to Michigan, that's a big problem. Immigration's going to be looking for. They're going to come after you, but you can move together, and you got to live together. Scott Boyne. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, Scott. My dad lives in Thailand, man. And once a month, he checks in with the Thai immigration officials. He has to get in freaking line and check in once a month. It's a pain. Jose Apolina Ramirez. Hi, Diego and Karina. Congratulations to Karina on obtaining her resident alien card. She did. She has it. Her 2-year green card. My wife is waiting for her resident alien card in New York City. Okay? Her biometrics were taken at the end of May 2024. So June, July, August, September. So by September or October, Jose, she will have her green card. Priyanka, my husband's transferring 100% remote. You can do that, but you got to be together. Harold A., the Aloft Hotel. The Aloft Hotel is close to the embassy, and it's also close to El Dorado International Airport. It's like a 10-minute drive. The Aloft Hotel is about a 10-minute drive to El Dorado International Airport. It's a nice hotel. They have a fantastic breakfast in the morning, and the breakfast is free. It's included in the hotel receipt. Scuba, much appreciated. No, it's from the movie Big Daddy, Scuba Steve. Okay, that's a Mountain Dew salute. I thought you were a scuba diver. Scuba Dave. It's from the movie Big Daddy. Scuba Steve, you got it. Francois, Diego, when I received the email from the embassy in Abu Dhabi, I replied with a thank you and thanking them for all they do. Hope that is the right thing. Francois, that's fantastic that you did that. And what it did was it extended your NOA-2 letter automatically now to when you schedule the visa interview. Your NOA-2 letter has been extended, so you don't have to worry about your NOA-2 letter timing out because you've maintained contact with the U.S. Embassy in Abu Dhabi. Good job, Francois. Top of the class, as always. You're always at the top of the class in Diego and Karina's green card K1 visa class. Harold A., is the Aloft Hotel close to the embassy? It's close to the airport. Is the Embajada Estados Unidos cerca de El Dorado Airport cerca Embajada Estados Unidos? Yes, it's close. It's very close. She said it's all in one straight row. And there's all these big trees outside of the Aloft Hotel. And you can catch the Transmillennial bus easily to get around. It's close. It's 10 minutes. You can get a taxi from the airport to the Aloft Hotel, and it'll take the taxi driver 10 or 15 minutes to get you there. But right now, Karina said there's a lot of construction going on the road, so it may take a bit longer to get to the hotel from the airport because of the construction that's going on, because they're building a metro, right? They're constructing they're building a metro line in Bogota. Priyanka, thank you for clarifying, Diego. Always. That's why we're hanging out. That's why you hang out with us, right? Francois, here comes another embarrassing thing. What happened? Francois, what happened? I honestly think I filled out the first page of the DS-160 because I filed my info. Can I go back and fix it before I submit everything? Yeah. Just go back to page 1. You can go back and change stuff if you made some boo-boos. You can do it. Rooster received K1 FTP letter on the 2nd of July. Package being forwarded to the embassy in Manila, Philippines. Okay. Later, the letter states consulate will contact fiance when they are ready. What should I expect now? You're going to wait for the ready status from the embassy, U.S. Embassy in Manila. Rooster, I don't know where your beneficiary lives in the Philippines. Does she live close to Manila? Because she's going to have to go to a medical exam at St. Luke's Extension Hospital in Manila. She's going to have her K1 visa medical exam at St. Luke's Extension Hospital in Manila, Philippines. Okay? That's where she's going to have the medical exam. Be ready for a TB test. They're going to check her for TB. Okay? What else to expect? Well, you're going to wait for the ready status. It's basically what you're going to wait for so that you can start the process of paying for the visa consular fee. Now, remember, there's no cost for the DS-160. The DS-160, you fill it out, you print it, the confirmation page is free. There's one person told me they spent all day looking on the website trying to pay for the DS-160. Well, they're going to spend their whole lives looking because it's no cost. So you fill out the DS-160, submit it, get the confirmation page, okay? You got to print that. The ready status once you get the ready status from the embassy in Manila, give them a couple of weeks to get the paperwork squared away so that they can start the process. Let me see here. Scott Boyne, thank you again for everything. No problem, Scott. You have a great night also, Scott. Mountain Dew salute. Rooster, no packet 3, packet 4 email yet. You will get it. Priyanka, my work might be required to travel to Sweden on a business trip for a week next year. Can I travel through my conditional green card? You can, but I don't recommend it. I do not recommend you leave the United States when you get your 2-year green card. Stay in America. Wait until you get your 10-year green card before you travel anywhere. So you fly, Priyanka. So you fly to Sweden to work for a week on a business trip. And then you return back to the United States, and the Border Patrol officer says, why were you in Sweden? And you can say, I was on a business working trip. I was there working. The Border Patrol officer may say, well, you ain't coming back into the United States because you've abandoned your green card. And you're going to say, no, I didn't. I didn't abandon my green card. I was in Sweden working. And they're going to say, well, why can't you work in the United States? It's a big risk. My recommendation, Priyanka, is do not do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. Just my opinion. You do what you want, but my opinion is it's high risk. Immigration can block you from returning to the United States, even with a 2-year green card. Especially if you're going on a business trip to a foreign country. Rooster, it sounded like they will be emailing her from now on, only if they have her email address. U.S. Immigration had my email address. The U.S. Embassy had my email address. USCIS had my email address. I was in complete control of the process right here in my hand, from K-1 application to embassy visa scheduling for the interview. I controlled the whole process. Karina chilling in Colombia. I took the stress out of her life, and I took care of it. Okay? The whole thing. Francois Livingston, Rooster, you better stock up on a lot of chocolate or Mountain Dew and fasten your seatbelt because it's going to be a fast going downhill. Denise Jefferson was right about that. Yeah, Denise Jefferson. We're happy for her. She's waiting on her husband Kenneth's green card. We're happy for her. Francois Livingston, DS-160 is the only thing in the whole process that's free. Well, not really. The form G1145 is a free form. The DS-160 is a free form for the biometrics, but you got to pay for the biometrics. The DS-160 is the application for the K-1 visa. Okay? Priyanka, but I'm signing for U.S. employer. I'm travel on business trip for a week for a U.S. employer. That's all well and good. That's great. But the Border Patrol may question that. Okay? But if you decide to go to Sweden with a U.S. employer, make sure your employer signs a letter stating that you are going on a business trip for a U.S. company. Make sure you bring with you your marriage certificate with your husband, your driver's license, your last tax return if you're on his tax return. You got to prove that you're going to come back to the United States. You got to prove it, Priyanka. You got to prove you are a full-time permanent resident of the United States. A green card isn't sufficient, especially if you're going to be working in Sweden, even with a U.S. employer. The Border Patrol officer, okay, will question it. So if you go to Sweden with on a business trip with your employer from the United States, make sure you got all this evidence with you to present to the Border Patrol officer when you return to the United States to prove you live in the United States. Driver's license, water bill, trash bill. Your name's on the water bill, the trash bill, the internet bill, whatever you got to prove you're a resident, permanent resident. The Border Patrol are very strict. I will ask my employer to write a letter from the employer. There you go. Perfect. That's correct. Escriba carta para trabajo. That will keep you out of trouble with the Border Patrol when you come back to the United States. Okay? On your 2-year green card. You cannot travel outside of the United States on a work permit. Your EAD document. If you listen up, if you got a work permit, look at the work permit. It says not for travel. Okay? So get your employer to write you a letter, Priyanka, to say you work for this company and that you are on official business in Sweden with this U.S. company, and that will save you from getting a Border Patrol headache when you come back to the United States. Plus whatever other evidence you have to prove you live in America with your husband. Okay? Very important. Remember, the 2-year green card is a temporary probationary green card. It's probationary. Just imagine that you have an ankle bracelet around your ankle and the U.S. government is tracking you everywhere you go. Where they're going to track you everywhere you go. Now, you go to Sweden on a business trip, you come back, you're going to get generated an I-94. You're going to get an I-94 because you're returning to the United States of America as a conditional green card holder. When you apply for your 10-year green card, you're going to have to print that. You're going to have to include that I-94 and explain when you apply for your 10-year green card that you were in Sweden on a business trip for a week with a U.S. company. And you got to show the I-94. You got it? You got to include that with your 10-year green card application. It's a pain, right? Rooster, Diego, did you have to have a social security number, or is it marriage certificate, or that is needed to get her government spouse ID card? Got to have a social security number. Got to have a social security number. And we had to go back to the military base. Rooster, Karina got a social security number. And on the front of it, it said, work authorized only by Homeland Security, blah, blah, blah. Okay? She had to go back to the military base and update her status with her social security card. Got to have a social security number to get a military ID for the spouse. Priyanka, I will ask my employer to write a letter for the Border Patrol when I return from Sweden. You got to have it before you return from Sweden. You got to take it with you. You got to take the letter with you. And you said, thank you for clarifying. I'm just trying to save you from a big headache, Priyanka, because you're going to get a big headache if you don't have any evidence that you went to Sweden on a business trip with a U.S. company. If the Border Patrol think you left the country to go work in Sweden, there's a good chance they won't let you back in the United States. But I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to warn you. So you got to prove that you are working for this company. You got to prove that you are in you're married and that you live at this address, wherever it is, whether it's Alabama or Michigan. Say, look, here are my gas receipts. I paid my gas bill. I paid my water bill. I paid my electric bill, whether it's in Michigan or Alabama. Here's my name on the electric bill. I'll be working with a U.S. employer, not a Swedish employer. That's great. It's all well and good, but you got to prove it. Evidence, evidence, evidence. Okay? You don't want to be getting an RFE at the airport when you're coming back to America trying to prove that you live in America. You got to prove it. Francois, one more question, and don't hold me to it. I realize I'm repeating myself. You're good, Francois, but at the start of the DS-160, I put my fiance's info, correct? Right. Only I mentioned myself is that I assisted my fiance with the form. That's correct. Listen, Francois, the DS-160 is all about your beneficiary coming to the United States, primarily. The security questions, where he worked, what he does, where he lives. At the end of the DS-160, at the end, when you get to, they asked you a question. Did anybody help you fill out this form? This is where you say, yeah, I, Francois Livingston, helped fill out this freaking form. You got it? Francois, come on. Come on, you can do this. You've got this. You're not going to get, it's not going to be an RFE. You can do this. Scuba, what are your thoughts on what will happen to legal immigration after the election? Well, a new president doesn't change congressional law. So nothing's going to change. Legal immigration is going to continue normally. K-1 visas are going to get approved. Green cards are going to get approved. Spousal visas are going to get approved. Tourist visas are going to get approved. Bring mom to America visas are going to get approved. Nothing's going to change. The president doesn't have that authority. Only Congress can change the rules for immigration. President Biden is not following congressional law. The guy is out there on another planet. His mind is on another planet. He is unconstitutionally doing things that are illegal. But the Congress is doing nothing about it because we have a Congress that is as weak as Biden. Francois Livingston, Mountain Dew salute. Thank you for your patience and support. Francois, come on, we got your back, all right? Karina likes those Hardee's big breakfasts, and McDonald's is too expensive. McDonald's, the price of a hamburger in McDonald's is insane. We can go eat at a Chinese restaurant or a Thai restaurant and get a big full course meal for the same freaking price as a Big Mac, fries, and a big drink and a drink. And McDonald's is losing business. Let's see here. Karina's help me out here. Get so I don't miss any questions. Scuba, what are your thoughts? What will happen to legal immigration after the election? Nothing's going to change. K1 visas still and green cards are going to get approved just like they are right now. But the border between the United States and Mexico is going to be secured, and all these illegals crossing into the United States are getting these free handouts without a medical exam, without a biometric. They're getting all this free stuff. That's going to go away. And if you're in the country illegally, my recommendation is stop thinking about going back home and coming here legally. Do it the right way. Because when the next president, I don't think Biden's going to win the election. Honestly, I mean, my opinion. I mean, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an independent. I'm independent. And this channel is open to everybody. The Democrats, Republicans, I don't care what your religion is. I'm going to help you get your K1 visa. But if Trump's the president come January of 2025, if you're in this country illegally, he's going to be signing executive orders in accordance with congressional law, and he's going to start kicking out all these illegal immigrants. He's going to round them up with Homeland Security, ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, put them on airplanes, and fly them home. The Apostle, please, can you answer my question? Always. My K1 case was created on the 19th of January, 2024, right? And was updated on the 12th of February, 2024. But just this June, it updated to 12th June. Can they send me my welcome letter? You don't get a welcome letter from the service center. When you apply for a K1 visa, you get the NOA-1 letter. The first thing you get is the NOA-1 letter, the Notice of Action 1. You didn't mess up the paperwork, you signed the forms, and you filled out the check properly. The next thing you're going to get is the NOA-2 letter, the Notice of Action 2 letter. What is the Notice of Action 2? It's either an approval, or denial, or an RFE, which is a request for further evidence. So you're waiting for your NOA-2 letter. The Apostle, please, can you answer my question? I just did. My K1 visa case was created on this day. You're waiting for your NOA-2 letter. You don't get the welcome letter until it makes it through muster at USCIS Service Center. The USCIS Service Center will approve your visa and then send it to the National Visa Center in New Hampshire, and then they will send you the welcome letter. Priyanka, sure, Diego, thank you. Priyanka, I'm keeping you out of trouble with immigration. Debbie, hey Debbie, hi Diego, does it make sense to do a work permit? Makes no sense. You're going to pay $260 for a work permit, and then a month later you're going to have your green card, and you're going to be kicking yourself because you wasted the money on your work permit. The only reason I got a work permit for Karina because it was free. We filed for Karina's work permit February 29th, 2024. It was free. So hey, it's free. I'm in. I'm a conservative capitalist, and if it's free and it makes sense, we're going to jump on it. But if we had to pay for the work permit, we wouldn't pay for it. It's a waste of money. You're going to get your green card a month later or two. Surely you can wait another month or two for your green card before you start work. The Apostle, please, can you answer my question? I just did. I get all that. Okay. So you're going to get your welcome letter when the service center mails your approved K1 visa application to the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. That's when you get the welcome letter. You got it? I get all the NOA 1 and NOA 2 letters. Okay, you got your NOA 2 letter, so you're waiting for the welcome letter from the MVC. It takes about 2 to 3 months for the welcome letter. Maybe a month if you're lucky. If what embassy are we talking about? What country? The apostle. What country are we talking about? And I can ask you a question a little better. Francois Livingston, he doesn't work for anyone in particular. That's okay. 2021, 2022, he was under a contract. No problem. He didn't renew his contract. No, why would he renew his contract? He's going to be with you soon. He didn't renew his contract, so if he had to leave the UAE, he can without being tied to a company. There you go. Well, he can leave the UAE whether he's tied to a company or not. With a K1 visa, the U.S. government says he can leave. Francois Livingston, what do I put on that part of the form? You put wherever he was working at the time, but he's not working. You can just put in there where he's working, where he was working as a contractor. Put that in there. But really, it's irrelevant because he's going to leave UAE and be with you in the United States in upstate New York. Karina, you were missed yesterday. Francois Estrano Pelletier. We understand you were at work. Tú eres en trabajo. Not the same when you're not next to Diego. Es no bien que no aquí conmigo. Francois, Karina says, thank you so much, and she's sorry. But she was at work and I was bored, so I did a live stream. And I answered a bunch of questions, right? I got a lot of answers for a lot of questions for you guys. Debbie, thank you, Diego. Debbie, no problem. And the apostle, I'm in Ghana. Okay. So what happens? You're in Ghana. That's in Africa, right? Is Ghana in Africa? Guyana is in South America. Ghana's in Africa. The case was created since January. It was updated the 12th of February. This is the 12th of June. That was updated once again. January, February, March, April, May, June. But you still haven't told me, is your case at the National Visa Center? The apostle, I'm going to help you. You're in Ghana. We love everybody in Ghana. Is your K1 visa at the National Visa Center in New Hampshire? Answer that question for me, and I can help you even more, right? But I need more information. It says your case was updated once again. Well, that's good. But where is it? Is it at the... Yes, it's at the National Visa Center. The apostle, you said yes. Your K1 visa application approved is at the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. It's going to take 2 to 3 months for the National Visa Center to send you a welcome letter. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. Updated the 12th of February. So it's been a bit of a while. Hedrex, Soldrea of Christ Fire. Look at that. Super chat. God, that's a super sticker. Super sticker to Hedrex. God bless you guys for your good works. We're here for you, Hedrex. We're here for you. I'm trying to help the apostle. He's in Ghana. But Ghana and Hedrex, that's your 5th super on the live stream. That's the 5th time. We appreciate you, Hedrex. Listen, apostle. Ghana is a very strict embassy for K1 visas. They're very strict on processing K1 visas. In order, you got to pass muster. They're backed up with K1 visa applications right now at the embassy in Ghana. It's going to take 3 to 4 months to get a response from Ghana, maybe longer. It may take 5 months. Okay, be patient, the apostle. So your K1 visa got approved. You got the NOA2 letter. It's at the National Visa Center in New Hampshire. They are now waiting for the embassy in Ghana to get unbusy so that they can process your K1 visa application in Ghana. It's going to take a bit longer because they're busy. The embassy in Ghana is backlogged with K1 visa applications. Priyanka, thank you, Diego and Karina, for clarifying all the doubts. Priyanka, I'm trying to protect your green card from a irate Border Patrol officer. The Border Patrol have unlimited power to block permanent residents from entering the United States. The green card doesn't guarantee you re-entry into the United States, a 2-year green card. A 10-year green card is good. A 10-year green card means you're good. Okay, you can't be. I mean, unless you do something stupid, that's criminal. Even if you forget to renew your 10-year green card, immigration is not going to come hunt you down. But if you don't renew your 2-year green card for a 10-year green card, immigration will come and hunt you down and deport you. So remember this: you get your 2-year green card 3 months before it expires. You must lift the conditions off your probationary 2-year green card and apply for your 10-year green card. Once you get your 10-year green card, you're good. Okay, so you messed up. My 10-year green card expired 2 months ago. Man, stupid me. So just renew it. But immigration's not going to come hunt you down because you are here perfectly fine on a 10-year. Okay? But my advice is, once you've been in the United States for 3 years, married to a U.S. citizen, become an American citizen. Become a U.S. citizen. And then you have to worry about all this paperwork and all this Border Patrol stuff. All you get you a U.S. passport and travel wherever you want. Well, you can't go to North Korea. You probably can't go to, well, maybe Venezuela. I think when Venezuela has their election on July 28th, I think that communist dictator is going to be kicked out of office, and there's going to be a new government in Venezuela, and Venezuela is going to be free again. I just got a feeling. Okay, I got a feeling. Pray for the people of Venezuela, guys. And congratulations to the new president of Iran. Iran just got a new president elect today. And this guy is not one of those, let's block Iran from everybody. He's a different kind of person. Okay? I think Iran's going to see some changes for the better. Just my opinion. Francois, no need to be sorry, but I was letting her know how much she also is appreciated. Yeah, Karina too. Karina, Francois gusta tú mucho. And Karina says, the apostle, thank you very much. On my tracker, it says it's ready. Okay, so now that means that your K1 visa is, if it's in ready status, it means it's at the embassy in Ghana. It's at the embassy in Ghana. Listen, Apostille, your K1 visa approval is at the U.S. Embassy in Ghana, but they're busy. The embassy's backlogged right now with K1 visa applications. I know that for a fact. But you're going to get your K1. Just make sure you do well at the interview, okay? Francois Livingston, Diego, does it make a difference if I send a super chat or a super sticker? I found out the other day YouTube deducts money from every super chat. They don't take, Francois, they take a very little, okay? They got to pay for the channel, okay? When you send a super chat or a super sticker, okay, we appreciate it, and Karina and I, we get to spend that money at Hardee's. We go for our big breakfast platters, and then Google or YouTube take a little bit, a small percentage, to cover the operating expenses of this channel. Plus, that's all it is, Francois. It doesn't matter what you send. If you send us a super sticker or a super chat, YouTube is going to take a little bit to cover the expense of running this channel. Okay, I got no problem with YouTube taking a percentage. Okay, it's not very much. It's irrelevant actually, but we get most of it, and then Karina gets to eat at Hardee's thanks to you, Francois, and everybody else. Try to relax on that, Francois. Either way, the government's going to take the money from somewhere, right? Right? You get taxed in New York. I get taxed by the federal government on the IRS. They love taking our money. If you owe the IRS money, they're gonna get it from you quicker rather than later. But if the IRS owe you money, you got to wait for it. Francois. We appreciate the super chats and the super stickers, Francois, but there's no way around getting around paying the paying the channel for the platform and for paying the taxes. Because Google and YouTube, they have to pay taxes too on the money they make. It's a vicious circle, right? But we're, don't worry, Francois. It's a very small amount. It's irrelevant, pretty much. Like $1 out of $7, $8, it's $1. Priyanka, I will start preparing for citizenship. I'm starting to read USA Constitution. Priyanka, learn the Constitution. Study for U.S. citizenship. Become a U.S. citizen. 3 years from now. Well, 3 years. You get your 2-year green card. Then you apply for your 10-year green card. And 3 years from the date on your 2-year green card, minus 3 months, you can apply for U.S. citizenship. Okay? So you don't have to wait 36 months. You can wait 33 months and then start the process. Start studying. Study the U.S. Constitution. Study the Federalist Papers written by the founding fathers of our country. It's very important that you understand the United States is not a democracy. It's not. It's not. It's a constitutional republic. A constitutional republic has what's known as an electoral college. An electoral college means that every state in America, there's 50 states in America, every state in the United States has a representative government, a congressman or a congresswoman. In a democracy, communist Venezuela is a democracy. They have an election. The communists won the majority, supposedly, and then the communists say this is how it's going to be. That's a democracy. You don't like it? Tough. This is the way it's going to be. But in a constitutional republic, you have representation. Your congressman, if your congressman is a Democrat, they're going to represent you as a Democrat. If your congressman is a Republican, they're going to represent you as a congressman as a Republican or an independent. You got representative government. It's a constitutional republic. In a democracy, it's mob rule. Do you know what I mean by mob rule? Priyanka, God bless America. I'm really liking the USA. Our cat is at the door asking to come in. So Karina's going to go bring the cat in here because he wants to be part of the live stream. Tokyo. He's from Colombia. I had to bring Tokyo to the United States because Karina said he's coming with us. And I said, okay. So here he is. So everybody say, hola Tokyo, ¿cómo está? Tokyo is Colombian. There he is. There's Tokyo. He wants to be part of the live stream. There he is. He flew from Bogota to Miami, and he drove with us from Miami to here in a 12-hour ride in an SUV, and now here he is. He didn't even need a green card. We're happy for you, Priyanka. We're glad you like America. Study the Constitution. No, you have rights as a green card holder. You have rights like we do as Americans. Karina has a green card. She has rights as a permanent resident. First Amendment, Second, Third, Fourth, Fifth, Sixth, 7, 8, 9. There are 10 amendments to the Constitution. Okay, those 10, the top 10. Okay. What is the 10th Amendment? What's the 10th Amendment? It means that the states can make up laws of their own, basically, that override the federal government. So Washington, D.C. does not control this country. The states control this country. Florida, Hawaii, Alaska, California, Tennessee, Michigan, Kentucky, whatever state you live in, you have a representative government, and the states tell Washington, D.C. what to do. Texas. If Texas doesn't like something that Biden's doing, they tell him, we ain't going to comply. And they don't. Francois, we appreciate the super chats and the super stickers. You send whatever you want to send because it covers Karina's breakfast and we appreciate it. And it also covers a little piece of the expense of running this channel for Google and YouTube. It's not much. Priyanka, I will start preparing for citizenship. Orlando Lopez, Tokyo speaks 3 languages, Spanish, English, and cat. Tokyo habla 3 idiomas, español, inglés, y gato. You're right, Orlando. Jay, right. Anyone having trouble with the I-129F form? If you're having trouble, with form I-129F, let me know, and I will fix the problem for you. I can fix it. Just tell me what the problem is. Priyanka, have a nice evening, Diego, Karina, and Tokyo. Priyanka, a Mountain Dew salute to Priyanka. Francois, right on. Right. Only asking so you are thanked for your time, support, and knowledge in helping us through the process. It's much appreciated. YouTube, they take a small amount to pay for the channel. Running a YouTube channel isn't free. YouTube and Google don't have these servers that run for free, guys. Thank you for your time, support, and knowledge in helping us through the process. When I am chatting with my best friend about my journey, she says, "What does Diego?" She says, "What does Diego say?" Hola, Tokyo, Francois. Tokyo, where is he? Bring him over here, mi amor. Bring now he wants to leave. So Tokyo, our cat, jumped into the live stream, and now here he is. Tokyo, commenting, por favor. No. Tokyo's looking for his friend Rambo. There's a cat that lives out in the woods, Rambo, and he made friends with Tokyo. Jay Wright, PDF isn't working. Okay, the PDF isn't working. So you're trying to fill out the I-129F in the PDF format, and it's not working. Use a different, instead of use Google Chrome. Do you have Explorer? Are you using Explorer? Try using Google Chrome. You cannot type on the form. So you go to usis.gov/forms, you look up I-129F, you download the form, and it won't let you fill out the information. Use a different platform. Use Google Chrome. Use Google. Are you using Google or Explorer? What are you using? Jay Wright, what platform are you using to download the form from usis.gov/forms? What are you using? Google, Chrome, Explorer? Which one? Use a different internet connection. Reboot your computer. Restore your computer. Turn it off and turn it back on. You got to get the connection back with immigration. I think that's probably the problem. Okay, guys, come on, give me some questions about K-1 visas, green cards, spousal visas, tourist visas. If you want to come to the United States as a tourist and you're waiting for your K-1 visa application to get processed, you can do that. Okay? There's no law that says you cannot come to the United States on a B-2 tourist visa while you're in the middle of a K-1 visa application. But be prepared for a stringent interrogation when you go in front of the consul officer at the embassy. And Tokyo is talking to his buddy right out here. There's a cat that lives in the woods, and he's Tokyo's friend. We named him Rambo. And Tokyo is trying to talk to him. Real seriously. Let me see. Look. Look. He's sticking his nose through the blinds, guys, because he wants to talk to his buddy, Rambo. Well, if Tokyo's happy, that's fine with us. If you want to come to the United States on a tourist visa, you can do that. But be prepared for a stringent question and answer session at the consular interview for the tourist visa. Francois, Tokyo is a movie star. Make a brief appearance, then he bounces. Yeah, boom, there he goes. He's looking for his buddy. The K-1 visa process is speeding up. It's getting quicker and quicker. The MVC is speeding up depending on how busy the embassies are. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia right now is busy because remember, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia has to handle visas from Venezuela, Curacao, and there's another country they handle visas for, K-1s, etc. And also for Colombian citizens who want to come to the United States on tourist visas. So the Bogota Embassy, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota is busy right now. And Karina's gonna now Tokyo wants to leave. He said, "Oh, hi everybody." Now he's out of here. It's all good. Okay, guys, we've been talking for an hour plus. It's my turn to make dinner tonight, so I'm gonna make dinner for Karina so she can relax. We'll be back on Monday for the next live stream. And don't forget, if you have questions on how to do this process, I'm here for you. I've made videos on how to do this. I'm not an immigration attorney. I don't give any legal advice, and I don't work for USCIS. But I've saved lots and lots of people thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay? See you at the next live stream, guys.